Welcome to Money Making Conversations Masterclass. I'm your host, Rashawn McDonald. I recognize that we all have different definitions of success, and I want to thank you for coming on this show and be a part of it through the audio, through video, because of the fact that we try to make a difference for you on this show. You can only exceed expectations by believing in yourself. People always talk about their purpose or gifts. If you have a gift, lead with your gifts. And remember this, don't let your friends, family, or coworkers stop you from planning or living your dreams. My guest is Tracey Edmonds. I've known her for a long time, an incredible Emmy award-winning TV and film producer, as well as entrepreneur. I definitely want to emphasize entrepreneur. Her film and television work includes shows like movies like Jumping the Broom, Josie and the Pussycat, and TV shows like Games People Play, Deion Sanders' Family Playbook, College Hill, Soul Food TV adaptation with my girl, Felicia Henderson, who's a good friend of mine. And now she's doing a reboot. That's what we got on the show. We're talking about reboot of College Hill Celebrity Edition. Do you hear me? HBCU, y'all, in Texas Southern University. That's my hometown. So, but I also want to talk about her entrepreneurial side, health and wellness, which she is always pushing out. She has a website, which is fantastic, that I helped her launch several years ago called allrightnow.com. Please welcome to Money Making Conversation, because I got the energy and I got the love. Please welcome Tracey Edmonds. How you doing, Tracey?
Hey, Ron. Thank you. Always good to see you.
Well, first of all, the beauty of what we're doing here is a HBCU show. And you've done it in the past. You did for like 7 or 8 seasons previously, right?
Yeah, 7 seasons. Yep.
And these were undergraduate students. These were young adults pursuing. Now you're taking, I like to use the word grown folks, because they're grown folks. You got Nene Leakes all the way down to little India Love. She may be the youngest person on the show. And Dream Doll may be mad. I'm younger, but again, they're the 2 youngest people on the show. So you have these 18 to 34 millennial Gen Z type people, and then you have these people who are beyond the millennial, who are veterans of reality shows like Nene Leakes and Ray J. Talk about the casting.
Oh, yeah. So we have it's an all African-American cast, but we wanted to I'm sorry. Can we start again?
Yeah, no problem. So let's talk about this. Okay, you have Nene Leakes and you have Ray J on the show. And I want to emphasize that because they are veterans of reality shows. When you bring on veterans, I'm just being honest, sometimes they can be know-it-alls. And sometimes they can be assets. Nene is a great person. Ray J is a fantastic person. I go way back to him with his sister Brandy, all the way back to Moesha. That's how long I've known him. So talk about them being assets on the show because of their past experience on reality shows.
Oh, yeah. So Nene and Ray J are absolute reality veterans. Of course, we all know Nene was on Real Housewives of Atlanta forever. And Ray J, loving hip hop and he goes way back to Moesha days doing scripted TV. Mm-hmm. So they are TV pros and were really amazing because they were kind of like shepherded the rest of the cast. And so we had a lot of young cast members, some who had never done reality TV before. And Nene and Ray J came in as pros and just kind of relaxed everyone, got everyone comfortable being in front of the cameras where, after the camera's around for a while, you kind of stop thinking about them and just kind of ignore them and just kind of be yourselves. And so they helped just kind of relax and warm everybody up and really, just kind of helped keep things alive in the house as well.
That's important because this is all energy. We see a lot of, first of all, the producers did a great job of keeping the story moving along, keeping it feeling like there was a rhythm to the show, because that's what you have to do. You have these 8 people who are thrown into the house. I don't care how professional you are. There are personalities, and all personalities don't gel immediately. Okay. And the beauty of this particular series is that if you watch any, like, I'm a reality show veteran, Tracey. Yeah. So they all, when they bring in a cast, they start with the ta-ta-ta and they end with the shocker. They always end with the shocker. The ta-ta-ta was the queen came in, that was Nene Leakes. And then you came in with the end of the show shocker, Stacey Dash.
Ooh, and she came in strong. Her entrance was strong. We did not tell Stacey how to dress. She came in wearing her cowboy hat, her cowboy boots, and completely ready for her Texas experience. Yes. And so she came in with a bang.
Yeah. Well, she's still beautiful, everybody. This woman is an incredibly beautiful woman, but she's also Stacey Dash. And Stacey Dash, as throughout her life, has proven that living in an environment with other people may not be the best thing, but she's going to try it out on this show. Now, how did the whole casting process go through? Because let me just go through the cast members. You have Nene Leakes, you have Ray J, Lamar Odom, if you don't know him, played in the NBA, Kardashian, just a good Lamar Odom Kardashian. Okay, just you remember him now. You have Big Frida, who's out of New Orleans, who I've known many years, the Queen of Bounce. And there's a great conversation she has on the show with Slim Thug, who's also on the show, but he calls himself Big Slim on the show. And then, of course, you have Dream Doll, who's a rapper out of the Bronx, and India Love, who I just love to death because she's coming out of her shell. That is basically the cast that you have, that you put them in this beautiful mansion, which I'm so jealous because I'm from Houston. I don't know where that house is at, but I want to rent it for a weekend. Talk about the house because it's the star of the show to me, then talk about the cast.
Oh, yeah. So first of all, just so people know, when you have to find a house for a reality TV series, it can be really tough. Because you need a humongous house with tons of bedrooms. We had 8 cast members and they all wanted their own room. Most of them did not get their own room. That became an issue as well. So, but, we had to find, a house that could accommodate everybody and also find one that looked really good on camera as well. And so we were really lucky. We found this brick mansion that kind of resembled like an old dormitory house or something. And it was on the lake. And so we had a chance to, put the cast in a beautiful environment where they spent half their time, and then the other half of the time was spent at attending classes at Southern University. And so, you get a chance to see how the cast navigated which rooms they wanted to stay in, which roommates they wanted to have, and at the same time, go to school and get that HBCU experience.
Let's talk about that HBCU experience. Texas Southern University, one of the great HBCUs, just did an event. And like I said, we were crossing lines here because I was there April 2nd for an HBCU College Day tour, where I bring in like 14 HBCUs to the campus of Texas Southern. We had Prairie View there. We had Mississippi Valley State there. We had Kentucky State, Maryland Eastern Shore, Wiley College on campus recruiting students. That's how family it is when the HBCUs to actually allow other HBCUs to come on campus. We have roughly 4,000 parents and influencers and counselors showed up to my event. But all the time we were planning this event, Tracey, they kept saying, "Oh, we're busy. Finally, when we got there, they said, "Woo, they just left campus." Woo. We said, "Who?" College Hill. Oh,
yeah. Yes, our cast was busy, Rashawn, because we wanted them to have a real HBCU experience, not like some little fake produced one where they just go in for a couple minutes each day and pretend like they're going to school. No, our cast really went to class every day. They took African American studies, they took business management, they took law, they took biology, and they had tasks, they had final exams, they had midterms, they had presentations. And then on top of that, our cast also had the extracurricular HBCU experience. And so we see Stacey Dash join the dance team, Nene and Ray J joined the debate team, Lamar helped out with the basketball team, and, I forgot, Dream Doll became a cheerleader, and so they really took the HBCU experience seriously and just kind of wanted to embrace and absorb everything that Texas Southern had to offer.
We had a lot to offer. And let's talk about the whole experience, because you graduated from, you attended a HBCU, Southern University in Baton Rouge.
Well, I graduated from Stanford. I did my undergraduate work at Stanford University. And then I was blessed and got a doctorate from Southern
University. Well, that sounds like a graduate to me. She graduated for something, It's so funny. Our relationship is so funny because, my freshman year, I enrolled in Southern University in Baton Rouge. I didn't attend. This has been like off air, on air. We've been crossing our lines so much, and it's great to reconnect with you.
And you guys, Southern was the very first university that we shot College Hill at. So it was our first season.
Absolutely. So she went back to home. Now she's coming back to my home in Houston, Texas. Now, African American studies. That was one of the things that stood out to me, and I want to talk about that because my college degree is in mathematics, and my minor was in sociology, and I took African American studies because I heard it was an easy grade. I heard that was one of the easy grades on campus. I went into the class and realized what I had been educated in life was nothing. I knew nothing about my Black experience. I knew nothing. I was not aware of our contributions as African Americans or Black people or colored people or Negroes, whatever they wanted to call us, as we transcended through this country and built this country and made a difference in this country. And HBCUs, which started in 1865, have played that same tremendous role. Why was it important to have a class like African American Studies on an HBCU show and Black people go to an HBCU?
Well, I mean, I think it showcases what makes the HBCU experience so unique and so special. And so part of what makes the HBCU experience so wonderful is that you have professors who look like you and professors who can relate to you. And so when you're an African American student and you're being taught by an African American professor, they can connect to you in a deeper and more meaningful way that I think, someone that's outside of your racial identity can. And so starting the students off with African American studies was like, it was just a no-brainer for us because the other thing that's important is to know where you came from, know where you're headed, and also feel empowered, that you're Black. And so a lot of, these classes these days, while it's important to know the history of slavery and the challenges and the obstacles that we've had to overcome as a race, it's also important to know the accomplishments that we've made as a race. And so learning about African Americans who have helped build this country, have invented things that have impacted the entire world, learning about all those contributions that African Americans have made really helps you feel empowered as an individual. Because you look at, your predecessors and you go, wow, they did this. And, and they didn't have 1/10 of the resources that I have now, that makes me feel like I can do this too. And so we wanted our cast members to feel inspired and encouraged and be able to take everything that they're learning from this HBCU experience and apply that in today's society and in their lives and in their careers.
Cool. I'm talking to the Emmy Award-winning television producer, Tracey Edmonds. Tracey, it was really interesting in watching the cast members, 8 cast members that's on the show. Like I said, Nene Leakes, Ray J, Lamar Odom, Big Frida, Stacey Dash, Dream Doll, India Love, and Slim Thug, or Big Slim, on the show. There's a certain amount of respect because, you watch these reality shows, it feels like people have agendas or they have these issues and they bring them to the show. And I felt a natural goal was to be very respectful to the brand of HBCUs. I'm talking about the cast members. And was that a natural for them to go that direction? Or you guys set them down and go, look, we're doing a show on an HBCU campus. HBCU campus are what they represent in our society. We don't want to do anything foolish. Did that conversation have to be had, or was just a natural, mature guidance by the cast?
I can honestly say, Rashawn, we didn't even have to have that conversation. Each cast member, when I talked to them about joining the show, I'm being totally honest, they were all genuinely, organically excited about attending an HBCU, and they could not wait to get to Houston and to get it going, and especially Texas Southern. And so a couple of our cast members had affiliations with Texas Southern. In the past, they either had a family member that had attended, Texas Southern, or one of our cast members had attended it briefly and then had to drop out. And so they knew how incredible Texas Southern is as an HBCU. And so they were really, really excited about attending it. And so we didn't have to pump them up. They were already pumped up.
Well, it showed, and I was very worried about that. And the word was quickly erased early on in the first episode. You realize this is a show that's going to really be groundbreaking, and also learning curve for the cast members as well, because of the fact that the agendas in putting together a show like this. Stacey Dash. Let's go back to the elephant in the room. The bull in the china shop. Okay. Based on her comments, a show on Fox News, she said there, why do we have Black History Month? When they asked her on the show, was she African-American? She clearly said she's Mexican and Black. So she would acknowledge that she's African-American. She's some type of mixture. That's why she said I'm biracial or something like that. So how did she get on the show? Stacey Dash.
Well, actually, we wanted to have a cast that was coming from very diverse experiences and perspectives, because, it would be boring to have 8 cast members who all thought exactly alike and who all had the same perspective and backgrounds. And so we handpicked every single cast member from their background, their history, their personalities, their perspectives, because we wanted to mix it up and have like a melting pot of, all kind of different perspectives. It's more interesting for discussions and for the journeys that we wanted to chronicle. And so Stacey obviously was coming from a conservative background. Yes. She had, had an experience as a host for Fox News. She's been very vocal about some of her thoughts about, Black culture.
Right.
And so we thought it would be very interesting to have someone who's coming from a conservative perspective attend an HBCU, because HBCUs can really open your eyes and open your perspective on the Black experience. And so we were hoping that Stacey, through the classes that she took, through her experience on campus and with our cast members, would really, kind of continue to grow her perspective in a positive direction on the African American experience and Black culture. And so that was our goal in casting Stacey. And Stacey actually, when I spoke to her prior to, starting to film things, she was super excited about going to an HBCU and about attending Texas Southern, and was positive about what she thought her experience was going to entail.
We'll leave it at that. And then we'll move on to some of the other great projects, because this is an incredible show. It already has premiered. It's airing right now, streaming right now on BET Plus. It's called The Celebrity Edition, College Hill. It's a show that was previously produced by the Emmy Award-winning Tracey Edmonds at Southern University. Now it's at Texas Southern University in Baton Rouge, Texas Southern University in Houston, Texas. And it's a show that stars an incredible diverse. You got diversity, you got it. You got it. And it's really, and I say this really in a complimentary way. It's kind of like a naiveness that's in the house outside of Ray J and outside of Nene Leakes. You can see there are some virgin bodies in this world. So you get a lot of good, honest conversations that are caught on tape. And I think that's a blessing when you do reality shows, correct?
Oh, absolutely. And your hopes in doing reality shows is that the cast members will learn from each other and will grow from being around each other. And, one of the most amazing individuals that I hadn't had a chance to spend time with until this show is Big Frida. And so Big Frida is coming from the LGBTQ community, and just one of the most beautiful spirits I have ever worked with. Just incredibly talented, incredibly kind, had a very unique perspective on life. And some of the conversations that Big Frida shares with our cast members, which you'll see, on camera, especially, she's got an amazing conversation with Slim Thug, really helped our cast members grow and expand their perspective on life and learn a lot about the LGBTQ community and stuff. And so, again, our goal was to really bring a cast that's coming from all different perspectives together and see how they all learn from each other, but then collectively learn from the HBCU experience too.
Fantastic. You had a couple other projects I want to bring onto the table. You have a Netflix thriller that comes out in September starring the incredible Queen Latifah. Ludacris is part of that, and my man Bo Bridges. Talk about that. How did it all come together, and how are you wearing all these different hats?
Rashawn, let me just tell you, I was so busy in 2021. True story. I wasn't in my own bed between January and September of 2021 because I was on the road shooting stuff. And so I shot Games People Play. I shot this movie, Netflix movie, End of the Road. And at the top of this year, I shot College Hill as well. But let's talk about End of the Road. Okay. So End of the Road, it premieres on Netflix September 9th, starring, as you said, Queen Latifah, Ludacris, and Bo Bridges. And so it's a script that I've been trying to get produced for 10 years. Can you believe it took me 10 years to get this made? But I'm super excited about it. And so Queen Latifah plays a single parent mom raising kids down on her luck, loses her job, loses her house, and has to go cross country to relocate. And her brother, who we call Uncle Reg, who's played by Ludacris, joins them. And on their journey cross country, let's just say they get mixed up into something they thought they never would have gotten into. And it becomes a thriller. And so they see something they shouldn't have seen. And so this family's got to pull together to save each other and come out of some serious mess.
Well, I have a great relationship with Netflix. They always send me these projects early. Hopefully I can get locked in on the interview with Ludacris or Bo Bridges, and I'll be, if I get Queen Latifah, that'd be amazing. But again, definitely give me that trailer because, I promote anything that you do. Now I want to go to a personal story with allrightnow.com because you always promote healthy living, stretching. And I'm going to tell you something. My hip was bothering me, Tracey. And so I went to the doctor and I thought I was nervous. I thought, do I need a hip replacement or do I have arthritic bone in my hip? And he said, no, you need to stretch.
Yeah.
Seriously, that's all they said. So for 4 weeks, they taught me how to stretch. And they told me you need to walk. So now I walk, a mile a day in the morning. And then I stretch for another 30 minutes. Something you have been preaching to me ever since allrightnow.com. Things I see on your LinkedIn post, I have been ignoring. The doctor said, stretch, please. Your life will be better. You know what?
That is some real talk. And I'm happy, Rashawn, that you're taking the doctor's advice because he is so right. Stretching keeps you young. And so it gives you that pep in your step. It gives you that energy and that blood flow that you need. And I'm telling you, when you stretch those legs and stretch your back, even 10 minutes a day, and you do that at the top of your day, you're going to feel so energized the rest of your day, and you're going to feel your blood flowing. You're going to think clearer. And I mean, it's amazing for you. It's almost like it's almost equally important to cardio. Like, cardio obviously is so important.
This is a testimony. Okay, she's speaking the truth because what happens is as you get older, your strides get shorter and you tend to lean over. All that is gone. My stride is longer. My posture is correct now because of the stretching. And it's just simple stuff. It's not something that, they're not telling you to lift weights. They just stretch, just simple things that you can do. I'm watching the news. I get up at 4:30. I stagger down to my basement. I turn on the news. So I'm watching news. So I'm not like, I can't do anything but stretch. I can be focused. I can do a lot of different things. All I'm just saying is that I am a champion of everything you say, Tracey Edmonds. Allrightnow.com will be in my newsletter every week. I go out to 64,000 people every Wednesday at 10 a.m. It will be in there. I'll have personal testimony telling people, do it because of the fact that no surgery was needed. All he told me was, Rashawn McDonald, stretch.
Love it, Rashawn. I mean, taking care of yourself is so important, you guys. So eat right, exercise, take your vitamins and your supplements, and stretch. And it will keep you young and keep you going.
Well, I testify to that. Again, thank you for your time, Tracey. Award-winning Tracey Edmonds is on my show. Remember, streaming right now on BET Plus is College Hills, the Celebrity Edition. Also coming up in September is the Queen Latifah Netflix thriller. We got to watch it, everybody, because you want to get it into the top 10 streaming. You want it to trend in all 190 countries. Tracey said, he knows way too much. But again, thank you. You look fantastic. And I'm going to tell you something. I'm going to put a curse on you. It's a good curse. I hope you don't make it to your bed that much in 2022. How about that? I want you on the road doing all these great projects. I want you to, because it's been a blessing to have you back in my life. It's a blessing to talk about all these great projects. If that's what it takes to keep you on the road, I know you're down in South Carolina, Hilton Head, relaxing. So you go there, relax, get a little tan, eat some great food, and get your butt back on the road, okay?
Will do, Rashawn. Always good to see you. Love you. Wish I could hug you.
Thank you. Talk soon. Again, bye-bye. If you want to hear or see this interview, please go to moneymakingconversation.com. I'm Rashawn McDonald. I'm your host.